The void of space stretched endlessly before the ESV Dauntless, humanity's most ambitious deep space exploration vessel. Captain Alina Reyes stood on the bridge, her weathered hands clasped behind her back as she studied the holographic display. After 14 months traversing the darkness beyond our solar system, the ship's quantum sensors had detected something extraordinary. An artificial structure orbiting an uncharted planet in the Epsilon Eridani system. Readings confirmed, Captain, announced Lieutenant Hiroshi Tanaka, the ship's sensor officer. It's definitely a constructed habitat, approximately 12 kilometers in diameter. No recognizable communication protocols, but we're detecting significant energy signatures and what appears to be a partially collapsed shield system. Elena nodded, her pulse quickening despite 20 years of space exploration experience. Humanity had ventured farther than ever before, but definitive proof of an advanced alien civilization had remained elusive. Until now. Bring us to observation distance, Lieutenant Santos. Let's get a better look. As the Dauntless approached, the massive structure revealed itself, a ring-shaped habitat bearing the scars of recent damage. Sections of its outer hull had been breached, with visible repair efforts underway. Small craft moved around the damaged areas like antibodies healing a wound. Someone's home, murmured Dr. Nadia Okafor, the ship's exobiologist. And they're in trouble. The decision to make contact wasn't made lightly. After hours of debate among the senior staff, Elena authorized a careful approach, broadcasting standardized first contact signals on multiple frequencies and wavelengths, mathematical sequences, and simple hydrogen atom diagrams that any technologically advanced species should recognize as deliberate communication. The response came within minutes, a repeating pattern that mirrored their own signals, followed by visual data that their AI gradually decoded into comprehensible images. A face appeared on the main view screen, clearly non-human but possessing features that suggested convergent evolution. Two forward-facing eyes with ternary pupils, a central respiratory opening, and what appeared to be auditory structures. "They're humanoid," whispered Dr. Okafor, her eyes wide with wonder. "Bilateral symmetry, sensory organs arranged for forward locomotion and predatory awareness. The universe has a sense of humor." The being on screen spoke, its voice translated through the ship's advanced linguistic algorithms. The translation was rough at first, improving as the AI processed more language samples. "Greetings, unknown vessel. I am Coordinator Kelthalis of the Eridani Collective. Your arrival is unexpected, but not unwelcome. We have detected no quantum signature like yours in our records." Elena stepped forward. "I am Captain Elena Reyes of the Earth ship Dauntless. We come with peaceful intentions from a planet called Earth. We are new to interstellar travel." What followed was a historic moment. Humanity's first conversation with an alien intelligence. The Eridani proved to be remarkably adept linguists. Their neural structure apparently evolved for rapid language acquisition. Within hours, communication became fluid enough for meaningful exchange. The Eridani invited a delegation aboard their habitat, an offer Elena cautiously accepted. She would lead the team herself, along with Dr. Okafor, Security Chief Marcus Chen, and the ship's diplomatic officer, Dr. Layla Hassan. Equipped with environmental suits as a precaution, the human team shuttled across to the Eridani habitat. Inside, they found soaring architecture that blended biological and technological elements seamlessly. Living walls pulsed with bioluminescence, while intricate machinery hummed with purpose. The gravity felt slightly lighter than Earth's, and the air, once confirmed safe, carried subtle, alien aromas of unfamiliar biochemistry. Their hosts stood taller than humans, with slender frames and skin that shifted subtly in coloration, apparently reflecting emotional states. Kelthalis, their primary contact, bore elaborate markings that Elena surmised indicated rank or social status. "Your timing is significant," Kelthalis explained as they toured the habitat. "Our encounter occurs during a time of crisis for my people. The Eridani revealed a troubling situation. Their species had been part of an interstellar community called the Galactic Concordat for nearly 3 centuries. The relationship had been peaceful, with the Eridani contributing their exceptional biotechnology in exchange for access to resources and protection. But circumstances have changed, Kelthelis continued, the skin around their neck flushing a deep indigo that the humans would later learn signified distress. Our latest research into cellular regeneration caught the attention of the Concordat Security Council. They deemed it potentially destabilizing to established power structures. Dr. Okafor leaned forward. Regeneration technology. What level of cellular restoration are we discussing? Complete neural pathway reconstruction. Another Eridani scientist named Velmora answered. The ability to restore consciousness patterns after catastrophic brain injury. Effectively, a technological solution to death by trauma or age. The implications stunned the human delegation. Immortality, or something approaching it. A breakthrough that would fundamentally transform any civilization. The Concordat gave us an ultimatum, Kelthelis continued. Surrender all research and submit to memory restructuring, or face expulsion from Concordat space. You refused, Elena stated, understanding immediately. We attempted negotiation. The response was decisive. Kelthelis gestured toward the damaged sections of the habitat. A warning strike, they called it. 96 lives lost. We have 1 planetary cycle remaining before their return with a larger enforcement fleet. Over the following days, the human delegation learned more about the Eridani and their predicament. They were primarily scientists and philosophers, their society structured around knowledge advancement rather than military power. Their technology was impressive, particularly in biological sciences, but their weapons systems were minimal. Dr. Hassan spent hours studying the Concordat's legal frameworks, identifying troubling patterns. They'd done this before, she reported during a briefing aboard the Dauntless. When species develop technologies that might disrupt the established hierarchies, they're either suppressed or eliminated entirely. The Concordat maintains stability through controlled technological distribution. They're afraid, Elena realized, afraid of change they can't control. The Eridani had reached the same conclusion. Our fault was not in the discovery, but in our naivety, Kelthelis admitted. We announced our breakthrough openly, believing it would benefit all species. As the deadline approached, tensions aboard both the Eridani habitat and the Dauntless increased. The human crew debated their options, fully aware that their small exploration vessel stood no chance against a Concordat battle fleet. We should leave, Security Chief Chen argued during a heated command meeting. This isn't our fight, and we're not equipped for it. Our primary mission is to return what we've learned to Earth. If we leave, the Eridani die, Dr. Okafor countered. Or worse, have their entire cultural identity erased through forced memory restructuring. What would you have us do, Nadia? Chen demanded. The Dauntless is an exploration vessel, not a warship. We have minimal defensive capabilities and a crew of 115. The Concordat apparently fields entire fleets. Elena listened to the arguments, weighing humanity's first contact protocols against her own moral compass. Finally, she raised her hand for silence. We came into space to discover new life, new civilizations, she said quietly. What does it say about humanity if our first act upon finding them is to abandon them to cultural extinction? What would we want an advanced species to do if Earth were in this position? The senior staff fell silent. We stay, Elena decided, and we help. When the Concordat enforcement fleet arrived 3 days later, it emerged from what the Eridani called fold space, a form of faster-than-light travel humanity had yet to master. 5 vessels, each dwarfing the Dauntless, took position around the Eridani habitat. Their message was transmitted simultaneously to the habitat and the human vessel. Eridani Collective, you have refused compliance with Concordat Security Directive 7219. Your membership is hereby terminated. All non-Eridani vessels must withdraw immediately or be considered hostile. Captain Rice stood on her bridge, looking at the overwhelming force arrayed against them. The rational decision was clear: withdraw and save her crew. Yet something deeper held her in place, a conviction that humanity's first steps into the galactic community should reflect their highest principles, not their fears. She opened a channel to the Concordat flagship. "This is Captain Alina Reyes of the Earth ship Dauntless. We represent a sovereign species previously unknown to the Concordat. We have formed a mutual defense agreement with the Eridani Collective and request a diplomatic meeting to resolve this situation peacefully." A long silence followed before the response came, a face appearing on screen that resembled nothing in Earth's biology. Multiple eye stalks swiveled independently above a speaking apparatus that resembled a vertical gill structure. "Unknown vessel, this is Enforcement Prime's kick of the Concordat. Your species has no standing in Concordat affairs. Remove yourself from this enforcement action or be destroyed with the violators." Elena met the alien's gaze steadily. "We decline to withdraw, Enforcement Prime. The Eridani have committed no crime by advancing medical science. If the Concordat truly represents civilized interstellar governance, it should welcome scientific progress, not punish it." The alien's eye stalks rippled in what Elena suspected was irritation or surprise. "Your primitive vessel cannot possibly resist Concordat enforcement. This is your final warning." The transmission cut abruptly. On the tactical display, the 5 Concordat vessels began moving into attack formation around both the habitat and the Dauntless. Elena turned to her crew, seeing determination mixed with fear on their faces. Humanity's first interstellar conflict was about to begin, against an enemy with vastly superior technology and numbers. "All hands to battle stations," she ordered, "and open a secure channel to Coordinator Kelthalis. I have an idea." As the Concordat ships charged their weapons systems, the Dauntless moved into position between them and the Eridani habitat. It was a symbolic gesture. Their small vessel couldn't possibly shield the massive structure, but it communicated humanity's resolve clearly to all observers. Outmatched technologically, outnumbered and facing an enemy with centuries of interstellar warfare experience, the humans prepared to make their stand. "All weapons systems online, Captain," reported Lieutenant Commander Dias, the Dauntless's tactical officer. Her voice remained steady, though the tactical display told the brutal truth. 5 Concordat warships against their single exploration vessel. Captain Alina Reyes nodded, her mind racing through possibilities. The Dauntless wasn't designed for combat, but every human vessel that ventured beyond Earth's solar system carried defensive capabilities, a precaution born from humanity's cautious nature and long history of conflict. "Status of the modifications?" she asked, turning to Dr. Karim, the ship's chief engineer. "Ready, Captain, though I still think it's insane," he replied, his hands dancing across his console. "We've never tested the pulse generators in this configuration. No time like the present," Elena said grimly. She opened a channel to the Eridani habitat. "Coordinator Kelthalis, is your side prepared?" The alien's face appeared on screen, their skin now a pale yellow that signified anxiety in their species. "The bioresonance amplifiers are in position, Captain Reyes, but I must express concern. This strategy relies on theoretical interactions between our technologies that have never been attempted. Sometimes the best solutions come from combining different perspectives," Elena replied. "That's what the Concordat fears, isn't it? New combinations they haven't anticipated." The proximity alarms blared as the lead Concordat vessel fired a warning shot, a pulse of energy that passed just meters from the Dauntless's hull. "Final warning from the Enforcement Prime," Lieutenant Santos reported from communications. "We have 30 seconds to withdraw." Elena took a deep breath. "Send our response. The Dauntless declines to abandon friends to injustice." As the deadline expired, the Concordat vessels moved into attack formation. Their weapons systems glowed with building energy, targeting both the human ship and the Eridani habitat. "Now, Dr. Karim." Elena ordered. The engineer activated the modified pulse generators, technology originally designed to deflect cosmic radiation from the ship's hull. Modified with Eridani bioresonance principles, the generators now created something entirely new, a cascading field of quantum interference that spread outward from the Dauntless. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The Concordat vessel's weapons discharged, but their energy beams diffused and scattered upon contact with the interference field. Simultaneously, their shields flickered and destabilized as the field disrupted the precise quantum harmonics that governed their operation. "It's working," exclaimed Dr. Okafor, watching the sensor readings with amazement. "The field is affecting their targeting systems and shield harmonics exactly as we theorized." The Concordat ships reacted with obvious confusion, attempting to adjust their shield frequencies and weapon configurations. But each adjustment was met with a counter-response from the adaptive bioquantum field generated between the Dauntless and the Eridani habitat. "They're trying to re-establish targeting locks," reported Lieutenant Commander Dias. "But the field is adapting faster than their systems can compensate." Elena allowed herself a small smile. The plan had been audacious, combining humanity's primitive pulse technology with Eridani bioresonance to create a defense neither civilization could have achieved alone. The Concordat, for all its advanced technology, had never encountered this specific combination before. "Incoming transmission from the Concordat flagship," Santos announced. The alien enforcement prime appeared on screen again, its eye stalks rigid with what Elena interpreted as shock or anger. "What technology is this?" it demanded. "These disruption patterns are not consistent with any known species capability." Elena stood, facing the alien directly. "It's called cooperation, enforcement prime. Something new created through partnership rather than coercion. The Eridani's bioresonance technology combined with our quantum pulse generators, neither effective alone, but remarkable together." The alien's speaking apparatus pulsed rapidly. "This is precisely why uncontrolled technological development cannot be permitted. You create dangerous new capabilities without understanding their implications." "On the contrary," Elena replied calmly, "we understand the implications perfectly. When different species work together as equals, we can achieve more than any single civilization could alone. That's what terrifies your Concordat, isn't it? Not the technology itself, but the cooperation it represents." The disruption field continued to hold, preventing the Concordat vessels from effectively targeting either the Dauntless or the habitat. What had begun as a seemingly hopeless last stand had transformed into an unexpected stalemate. "Captain," Dr. Hassan whispered from her station, "I've been analyzing their communications. 3 other vessels just emerged from fold space at the edge of the system. But they're not Concordat designs." Elena frowned. "More enemies?" "I don't think so. They're broadcasting on Eridani frequencies." Moments later, 3 sleek vessels took position behind the Concordat fleet. Their designs were distinctly different, organic curves rather than the angular geometry of the Concordat ships. A new face appeared on the view screen beside the enforcement primes, a being with features that suggested an aquatic evolutionary path. "This is Administrator Silara of the Meridian Cluster," the new arrival announced. "The Eridani have shared their research with us, along with evidence of Concordat suppression tactics. We stand with them, as do the Taulari enclaves and the Vosh nomad fleets. Your enforced technological stratification ends today." Elena watched with growing amazement as more ships appeared, a diverse array of designs representing multiple species. Each positioned themselves with clear intent, defending the Eridani habitat. The enforcement prime's eye stalks whipped in agitation. "This is a violation of Concordat sovereignty. All members are bound by Security Council directives." "Former members," corrected Administrator Silara. "Like the Eridani, we have withdrawn from your Concordat. Your monopoly on advanced technologies has ended. The future belongs to cooperative development." Elena seized the diplomatic opening. "Enforcement Prime, you face a choice. Continue this confrontation against a growing coalition of species, or recognize that the galaxy is changing. The Eridani's regeneration technology deserves to be shared, not suppressed. For several tense moments, the Concordat vessels maintained their positions. Energy readings fluctuated as their weapons systems cycled between active and standby states. Finally, the Enforcement Prime spoke again. The Concordat Security Council will not accept this defiance. There will be consequences. There already are consequences, Alina responded. You're witnessing them now. Species choosing cooperation over submission. This moment was inevitable once you decided fear was a better foundation than partnership. The standoff continued for several more hours as additional ships arrived. Some allied with the coalition forming around the Eridani, others representing Concordat interests. What had begun as a simple enforcement action had escalated into a pivotal moment in galactic politics. Eventually, a delegation from the Concordat Security Council itself arrived, requesting face-to-face negotiations. Alina, along with representatives from each of the allied species, agreed to meet aboard a neutral vessel. The Concordat representatives, a diverse group representing 7 different species, projected authority and disdain in equal measure. Their spokesperson, a being with crystalline features that caught and refracted light in hypnotic patterns, addressed the coalition. For millennia, the Concordat has maintained peace through controlled technological advancement, it stated. Each new capability is carefully assessed for its impact on galactic stability before widespread adoption. This system has prevented chaos. It has also created profound inequality, countered Kelthulis. Core Concordat species enjoy technologies denied to the rest of us. When we develop something valuable independently, it is confiscated rather than celebrated. Elena studied the Concordat representatives carefully. Their body language suggested genuine conviction. They truly believed their system of technological control was necessary for peace. Their fear wasn't entirely irrational. Throughout human history, new technologies had indeed disrupted existing power structures, sometimes violently. "May I address the council?" she asked, stepping forward. The crystalline being inclined what appeared to be its head. "The humans have no standing in Concordat affairs, but we will hear you." "Thank you," Alina said. "Humanity is new to interstellar travel, but not to the challenges of technological change. Throughout our history, we've seen how innovation can be both constructive and destructive. The answer we found isn't suppression, but distribution." She gestured toward Dr. Okafor, who activated a holographic display showing Earth's historical development. When knowledge and technology are hoarded by the few, inequality and conflict follow inevitably. But when they're shared widely, with appropriate ethical frameworks, they lift entire civilizations. The Eridani regeneration technology isn't a threat to stability. It's an opportunity for all species to benefit equally. The crystalline being's facets flickered with internal light. "You speak from inexperience. The galaxy is complex, with hundreds of species at different developmental stages." "Yes," Alina agreed. "And that diversity is strength, not weakness. Different perspectives lead to innovations no single species could conceive alone. Exactly what we demonstrated against your enforcement fleet." Administrator Silarid joined the conversation. The Concordat began with noble intentions, preventing interstellar conflicts through cooperation, but it has become what it sought to prevent: a system that maintains power through force rather than consent. The negotiations continued for days, with representatives from dozens of species joining as word spread throughout nearby systems. What had begun as a dispute over one technology had catalyzed a fundamental re-examination of the galactic order. In the end, a compromise was reached. The Concordat would continue to exist, but its structure would change. Technology assessment would become transparent, with representatives from all member species participating equally. The Eridani regeneration technology would be shared, but with ethical safeguards developed collaboratively. As the formal agreements were signed, Kelthulis approached Alina privately. The Eridani skin shimmered with the deep blue that indicated profound gratitude. Captain Rice, when your vessel appeared in our system, we had lost hope. The Concordat's judgment seemed final, our fate sealed. Why did you risk everything for a species you had just met? Alina considered the question carefully. Because exploration isn't just about finding new worlds or technologies. It's about discovering who we are when faced with difficult choices. Humanity has made many mistakes in our history, but we've learned that standing together against injustice is always the right decision. She looked out at the gathering of diverse species, former adversaries now cautiously collaborating. Besides, I suspect this is just the beginning. The galaxy is vast, and if today proved anything, it's that we all have much to learn from each other. In the following months, the Dauntless remained in the Epsilon Eridani system as Earth's first permanent embassy to the new coalition of species. The breakthrough that had nearly caused the Eridani's destruction now became the foundation for unprecedented cooperation, with research teams from dozens of civilizations working together to refine and improve the regeneration technology. When the Dauntless finally departed for Earth, it carried not only detailed records of humanity's first contact, but also representatives from 7 different species eager to establish formal relations with this unexpected new power in the galaxy. As the ship prepared to leave orbit, Kelthelis sent a final message to Captain Rice. The Concordat abandoned us to preserve their authority. Humanity saved us by sharing their courage. History will remember which approach truly advances civilization. Elena smiled as she ordered the course set for home. Humanity had ventured into the stars hoping to find new life and new civilizations. They had found both, along with something unexpected: the opportunity to help shape a more just and cooperative galaxy. The stars, it seemed, were not cold and indifferent after all. They simply needed humanity's perspective to shine in a new light.